All right. Let's tweet this out. Copy. Paste, tweet. Done. Okay, we can get on with the official introductions. Yo, 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 what is good, gamers? What is good, YouTube? This is your boy Lincoln Clay coming back at you with a live podcast. Let's all be one cohesive unit. To hit that like button and help spread the content to a wider audience. I would appreciate it. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you can stay notified whenever I put out new content. And if you are a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. I hope you are enjoying the content. And so, Daddy Ruiz, what is up? How you doing? Thanks for the comment on the latest video that I put out. I really enjoyed doing that video, and I plan to make more of those videos like that. I might even do one tonight, but I also plan on streaming the MLB The Show live tonight. So keep your eyes open for that at the conclusion of this podcast. So Andre 6K, what is up? How you doing, my friend? Before I get into these topics, I just wanted to say a couple of things. I want to start by thanking OBJ the Don for being my guest on the Lincoln Show on Thursday. That was an incredible podcast. The man has great insight. And even though he's known for saying trash, it was the man is very intelligent. He had very good insight. And that was an incredible podcast. So shout out to OBJ the Don for coming on the Lincoln Show. I really appreciate that. And I also wanted to thank last weekend for the E3s. I wanted to give a shout out to Sick Humor TV for bringing me on to do a live reaction stream when during the Microsoft press conference. And I also want to give a shout out to Porter Rock for bringing me on for a live reaction of his stream with the PlayStation press conference. Scottish Savage, what is up? Sick Humor TV, what is up? And so Craig Harris, what is up? Sick Craig Harris, if either of you two like to jump in, feel free. You know what I say always when it comes to you guys at all, there's always an open door policy. So if you want to jump in, feel free. As I always do, I'll go ahead and send you guys links. And and if you want to jump in, be my guest. If not, that's understandable too. So let's do a copy. Oh, you're at sick. You at work sick? Okay, cool. We'll sit back and enjoy the show. Same to you, Craig. I'll go ahead and send you a link if you want to jump in. Simply Deep, what's up? Area Drake, what's up? I'll send you a link, Craig. If you can jump in, great. If not, I understand. So where are you, Mr. Craig? There it is. Craig, the Superior Console. Send a direct message. Paste the Rooney. Send. Boom. If you can make it, again, I would appreciate it. And so I guess one more thing before I get into the topics. My son is standing behind me, and I was just in the I've got his Xbox One X set up on the TV, and I was watching him play Gears 4. And he is starting to evolve into the beast that I knew he could be. My son was always good at Gears of War. He's loved the Gears games ever since he was a kid, ever since he can remember, as far back as, when he was like 3-4 years old. He drew a picture of the Gears of War cover. And even though it was stick figures, the picture was incredibly detailed. So I knew there was going to be something special about my son when he grew up. And so throughout the years, as he's played Gears of War, especially Gears 4, he's been shown potential that I knew he could be good at the Gears of War game, but he was always worried about getting those pretty kills, getting the vault kicks, kicking someone and then stabbing them. He was always worried about getting those pretty executions, and he wasn't helping his team win. But now he's gotten into that concept now where he wants to get the most kills. So he's not worried about pretty kills anymore. He wants to get the most kills. So I've watched him play 2 matches in a row where he got the most kills. And then I finally explained to him that's how teamwork works. If you get the most kills, you are helping your team win. and he is turning into the beast that I know he could be on Gears of War 4. So he's actually at least giving me a reason to watch somebody play Gears of War now, because he's pretty good. You know, he's taking heads off with that natural shotgun. So my son has turned into a beast, and he's getting to be pretty good. Maybe one of these days when I find out how to stream from Mixer or something like that, maybe I'll set it up so he can play under my account. And y'all can watch him go to work, live. And so, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the topics. PSVR, more or less, I just even though I didn't get a chance to watch Wednesday's E3 press conference for Sony, because I guess that was dedicated to mostly PSVR, but unfortunately I didn't hear what I was hoping to hear. I wanted to get an update on Firewall 0 Hour, and you've heard me say that a dozen times. Firewall 0 Hour, Alvo, Special Forces VR, Blood and Truth. Those are all games that I was hoping to get some dates for, and that was my biggest reason for wanting to watch E3 this year. Sony had a pretty good E3. I'll give my thoughts on that in a moment. And Microsoft showed a lot of stuff, and I'll give my thoughts on that. But again, my biggest reason for wanting to watch E3 was for updates on those PSVR titles that I mentioned, because I'm really looking forward to it. And the first time I ever heard about these titles being announced, they were supposed to get some kind of 2018 release. And I was a little bit disappointed in not getting any dates on those games. But PSVR Frank, he's the biggest advocate for VR, PlayStation VR. I've mentioned him before. He's got about 25,000 subscribers. Developers do reach out to him. He reaches out to developers. So, he gets inside information here and there. And whenever he gets it, he does relay it to his subscribers. And in one of his videos, he put a link in the description of an interview for the developers of Firewall. And they didn't give a date, but they said that the game was coming very soon. So throughout the day, other YouTubers were talking about that. And when they described what the developers said, they were using the word very multiple times, saying that the game is coming out very, 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 very soon. And if the developer used very that many times, I'd like to think that means that the game is going to come out within a month or two. And I've said it before, this game is like Rainbow Six for the VR. A lot of similarities to it. You could place charges on doors, what have you. If one of your teammates go down, if he's down, you can revive him. It makes use of the aim controller, and so it's 4-on-4. There's like 9 maps, and there's a different. I guess you can customize your character. There's several different operators. So when they use the word operator, that tells me right there that this game is going to have a lot of similarities to Rainbow Six Siege, which is great for me, because at the end of the day, that's what I was ultimately looking for VR, is a game that's gives you a first-person experience in VR. Because I mean, what better experience could you have than playing a first-person game, first-person shooter in VR, and actually be right there inside the action? I don't think it can get any better than that. And Bravo Team was supposed to make that first move for me, and even though I knew what that game was going to be about, it still turned out to be a little bit of a disappointment to me. I still like the game. The only problem I had with the game is when you try to advance, you point and click where you want to go, and then your character goes into full body view, which he looks like he's 8 feet tall when he does that. He goes into full body view. He advances to the next to the next flank spot, and then you go back into the first person view. And that was the only problem I had with the game. It totally kills the immersion. And with Firewall 0 Hour, the game's going to have full locomotion, whether you use a DualShock 4 or whether you use the aim controller. So there won't be any, in and out of first person view as you move from spot to spot. So this game is definitely, is going to be a must have for me. Scottish Savage, Ghost of Tsushima was the best game at E3. I'm tending to agree with you on that. Arian Drake, facts. Scottish Savage, hands down, the best game of the night. That game was such a pleasant surprise, and I'll definitely comment more on that. But I can't tell you guys how many times I have watched those gameplay videos of Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us 2, because there was parts of both of those gameplay videos that I just couldn't get enough of it. When Jin sliced that guy across his neck when he made that first move. The first time I saw it, I thought he cut him across his stomach, but the guy grabbed his neck and a little bit of blood squirted out of his neck before he dropped. The guy he was fighting, it was using sort of like a bow that had like a spear at the end of it. Jin sliced right through that bow. He cut that bow right in half and took the guy's arm off with it too. That was so graphic, but that was so cool. And then the Last of Us 2 trailer, the gameplay video, I just cannot get enough of that part where Ellie was hiding underneath that car. And when that woman dug down and took a look, she caught a hot bullet to the cheekbone and fell out, and all that blood was pouring out of her cheek. I mean, how graphic, but my God, how good that looked. And I just couldn't get enough of that, and when she hit that guy with the hammer like 3 times, once across the midsection, and then she finished him off and like put that hammer in the side of his cheek. I mean, just totally amazing. And how good those games look. I swear to God, it looks like it's some next gen shit on some current gen consoles. It's just incredible. I mean, Spider-Man PS4 was my holy shit moment. Actually, all of them, Chili Hog, all of them was holy shit moments. But my God, it's like any one of those games on any given day, I can say this is the game that I'm looking forward to the most. If you ask me today, I'll say, Ghost of Tsushima. If you ask me tomorrow, I might say, how you doing, Chili Hog? While you at it, greetings. If you ask me tomorrow, I might tell you The Last of Us is my favorite game. It all depends on how I feel when you ask me, because my God, those juicy exclusive, they look so beautiful. I just can't wait for them. But I want to get back, before I go back into those, I want to talk a little bit more about the PSVR situation. I haven't heard anything new about Alvo or Special Forces VR, and because I haven't heard anything about those games, Alvo is supposed to, from what I've heard, the way it was described, it's supposed to be like Counter-Strike in VR. Special Forces VR looks like another Rainbow Six type game in VR. And then what's cool about both Alvo and Special Forces VR is that it is cross-play. You can play with people on the PC that are using Oculus and Vive. So when those games come out, I'm led to believe that you shouldn't have a problem finding a match. And I'm really hoping that those games turn out to be good. I have faith in those games. True. That's what happens when a company got talented developers. Sony is just killing us with the exclusive. They really are. And my backlog, Chili Hog, is just absolutely insane. I've said it before. I got about 150, maybe 170 games, and I think I've only completed about 10 of them. And my backlog is so big. That's one of the reasons why, if the PlayStation 5 doesn't come out until 2020, 2021, I'm fine with that. But if it comes out in 2019, I'm fine with that too, because I'll buy it day one. It doesn't matter when it comes out. When the PlayStation 5 comes out, the only way I won't buy it day one is if I'm dead. Even if I'm broke and homeless on the street, I'll rob somebody for the money to play it. I'll tap into one of those electronic signs that you see on the highway. I'll hack into one of those and play my PlayStation on one of those if I have to, if I'm homeless. But one last thing about the PlayStation VR that I definitely wanted to talk about, and is the game Blood and Truth. I definitely wanted to talk about that because I did get some more details about that game that I'm absolutely excited about. As some of you know, the game Blood and Truth is basically the follow-up to London Heist that was on the PlayStation VR Worlds. And that London Heist was a very good game, but it was really short. Don't call me Danny. What's up? But with Blood and Truth, I could tell by the way this game was laid out, I was seriously concerned. Yo, do what you got to do to get that PS5 experience, Chili Hog. No doubt about that. You know, hell, if I have to, I'll drill a hole into the neighbor's wall and you know, and snake my HDMI cord through that wall and hook it into their TV. You know, and I'll get somebody to distract their ass from, you know, and get them out the house, whatever I got to do. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, let me get a drink while I'm at it. Woo. Saturday night. You know, I'm here with my son. After I get done with this, I think I'm going to stream MLB The Show. And then I'm going to do another GT Sport video. That was, you know, that was well received. You know, I really like doing that video, adding commentary to it, doing a full-blown video and adding commentary to it. It helps you understand what's going on in the race. And it helps me run a better race. You know, don't get me wrong. I enjoy streaming GT Sport live, but, you know, honestly speaking, if I take just a half a second to try to read the comments, that's enough to make me fly off the track. Racing may seem boring, but if you take your eyes off that track for 1 second, you know, so, but I'll still do both. I'll still stream races live, but I'll also do full videos with commentaries because I really like that, because I've seen several other YouTubers do, and I really, really like it because it adds a little bit of a professional touch to it. Let's see here. J-Dog, you said, what's good? I didn't really want Destiny 2, but it was on sale for $10 and it comes with a 1-month PlayStation Plus code. Best Buy, good deal. Not bad at all. For $10, yeah, that's hard to argue with, even though I don't like Activision, because at this moment, when it comes to microtransactions, Activision is actually the worst, you know, for what they're doing with both, you know, Call of Duty World at War and Destiny 2. You know, I know Bungie is doing some bullshit right now, but I think they're only doing what Activision is telling them to do. So I can't be as mad at, you know, Bungie as I want to be. They're only doing what their bosses is telling them. DJ Almighty Spartan God, you know, people are voting for Microsoft as winners of E3. You know, hell, you know, maybe I'll get in that argument today. Maybe I won't. You know, I believe Sony was the winner of E3 hands down. You know, I'll dissect the Microsoft E3, you know, a little bit later. You know, Meta Chronicle. Let me see. Said, are you surprised 30 million plus people got a box with no games for itself? Exactly. Don't call me Danny. $10, you overpaid. Oh my God, that's kind of harsh to say. Even a game like Destiny 2, that where they were throttling people's progress and it's riddled with microtransactions. $10, I probably still would have got the game, just a simple fact, added to my backlog. You know, hell, if the game is still $10, maybe I'll go to Best Buy and pick it up and then save the game and give it away for when I reach 300 subs. You know, I'm sitting on 253 subs right now. Once I reach 300 subs, I'll do another giveaway. So maybe tomorrow I'll get up and go get Destiny 2 and then hang on to it. You know, for when I hit 300 subs and give it away. Hell, maybe if I'm feeling frisky, maybe I'll go ahead and get a copy for both the Xbox and the PlayStation. It ends on the 18th, and what is the today? Today is the 16th. Okay, then, J-Dog, I'll definitely go pick it up tomorrow. So I'll definitely pick it up for the PlayStation. You know, I would like to think the majority of the people in this chat have PlayStations, but I may go ahead and pick one up for the Xbox and give that away as well. But definitely keep your eyes open on that. You know, I will do a giveaway when I get to 300 subscribers. And once again, I got to go back to this PSVR thing because I still didn't get a chance to finish what I was saying about Blood and Truth. Now, with a lot of these in the early stages of PlayStation VR, a lot of these games that involve the Move controllers, where the Move controllers act as both of your hands, method of travel was a problem for me because, excuse me, because you had to use the Move controllers their method of travel was teleportation. To me, it killed some of the immersion, and in some cases it left me having to constantly refocus. Because it threw me off sometimes when you make those quick and sudden turns. Isaac Munoz, you say you want to race somebody worth racing in GT Sport. I don't know. I don't know about custom races, but I know with the daily races, if you want to race against tougher people, you got to have a good driver rating and a good sportsmanship rating. As those go up, you'll be inserted, put in with different people of your racing skill. And that's why I've talked about people like the Key 25, Super GT, Z28 Gaming, Eric GTR 123. These guys are all pros. These guys are incredible. And wow, I don't think I could ever get on any of those guys' level. So all I could do is just watch as a fan and just sit there in awe and watch how these guys run these super clean competitive races. They're clean, but they're clean, they're competitive. There's a lot of racing etiquette in those races. These guys know whether they can take somebody or not, so they know whether to make the move on them or to back off and wait for a different spot to make their move. Whereas I'm in there with a bunch of amateurs who are reckless. In some cases, some are still, some of them are still dirty. Who's that? Spartan God saying racing games are dead. I resent that. I love GT Sport. So it is a great game. And during the days of play sale, the game was on sale for $20, which I think is a steal. So getting back to this teleportation thing on the PlayStation VR, method of travel being teleportation was an issue for me. Like I said, it broke the immersion. In some cases, it made me slightly motion sick. So I really didn't like that. But I think the first game that implemented the move controllers in the way that I think they should be using them is that Planet of the Apes game. That game was only about $12, but I was surprised by how much I liked that game. I thought with the game costing $12, I thought it was going to be some cheap garbage. The graphics looks like some PS3 graphics, but it's still immersive, and I really like it. And one of the things that I really like about the game, that if they would have done this with Bravo Team, it would have made Bravo Team an excellent game. And that's the duck and cover. In Planet of the Apes, if you're hiding behind one barrier and you want to advance to the next barrier, it's a point and click thing, but you point and then you swing your arms to simulate that you're running over there. So that kind of gives the game full locomotion in some sense, even though you're using the move controllers, because you swing your arms like you're running in Planet of the Apes to advance, from spot to spot. And you stay in first person mode the whole time. And I really, really like that. And so that's what you're going to get in Blood and Truth. When you move from spot to spot, it'll implement something similar to Planet of the Apes, but you will still stay in first person mode. And the best part about that is that as you're advancing from one spot to another, you can still shoot at the enemy and you can still be shot at. So with that being said, I'm absolutely looking forward to Blood and Truth. That is going to be an awesome game. And I think the game has got like 8 to 9 hours of gameplay, which to me is I think that'll be just right. It'll be a game. I won't be stuck on a game for 3 months or something like that. But I think the game is going to be $50 or $60. So it's going to be sort of treated like, sort of like a AAA experience as far as the PlayStation VR goes. So there you have it. That's kind of my situation with the PlayStation VR situation. The developer said that Firewall is coming very soon, or very, 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 very soon, depending on whose video you watch. And we got that information. We got that tidbit on on Blood and Truth. There was a little bit of information about Ace Combat 7. I'm still hopeful that that game will come out this year. That's another game that I'm looking forward to. Kevin Blake, how you doing? You said racers are dead to me as I am crap at them. Hell, Kevin, if you go back and watch any of my live streams for GT Sport, I think the highest I've ever finished up in any of those races is 8th place, but still fun no less. Especially when I use the my Thrustmaster T150 racing wheel, it adds to the fun just that much more. And not only that, you can race a little bit better with a racing wheel, because you know how hard or soft you need to turn the wheel as you're going into a corner, versus using the DualShock 4. It's really hard to be sensitive on that thumbstick, because I got a goddamn mechanical thumb. It flicks all the way left or all the way right with 100% effort and no finesse. And so that sometimes that causes me to oversteer going into some corners. And that's why a racer wheel is just perfect for me, because you can give it just the right amount of touch. Savage Juger, the race for 2019 is that I still think Microsoft and Sony is still racing to try to get their consoles out first, and that's why I think the race is on for 2019. Microsoft might be saying that the console is coming out in 2020, but I think they might be saying that so people who just bought the Xbox One X won't be so pissed off, because they only bought that console 6-7 months ago, and now another console being right around the corner in 2018 might upset a lot of them who bought that Xbox One X. So that's what I mean with the races on for 2019. I'll get into that more, because I still believe Microsoft has this mentality that they need to get out the blocks first in order to win a generation, rather than believing that they need to put out the better content, because they show proof of that with the Xbox 360. But I'll get into that. Microsoft trying to bait Sony into talking more about PS5 or force their hand. I think right now, the chess match is probably over, Spartan God, in terms of Microsoft and Sony, trying to get them to reveal their hands, because I think both of them right now are so far in development right now in terms of what they want to put into the computer in terms of teraflops and stuff like that. I think both of them are so far in development that, trying to spy on the other isn't going to change anything. I think it's too late in the development stage, that if Microsoft was going to make the next Xbox 10 teraflops and then they find out that the PS5 is going to be 12 teraflops, I think it's too far into the development stage for them to suddenly change it and then try to make the next Xbox 15 teraflops. So I think right now, whatever their specs are right now, that's what it's going to be when it finishes up. Because I really think, I'm sticking with my gut that I think the PlayStation 5 is going to come out in November 2019. But I think the only way Microsoft's Xbox 2 will not come out in 2019 is if it is not ready. So if it, with Microsoft's mentality, with them thinking that they need to get out of the blocks first, if they could release the Xbox 2 right now, they would release it tomorrow. And then they would give some kind of damage control PR statement, to deal with the people who will be pissed off about, buying the Xbox One X, and boom, here it is, another console. But the fact of the matter is, Microsoft acts like they're still committed to this generation. But the fact of the matter is they've given up on this generation and they're getting ready for the next generation. And a lot of the shit that they showed at E3 was all about the next generation. And so with that being said, I still think Microsoft has this mentality that they feel they might need to get out of the blocks first. Chili Hog, I mean, Microsoft releases the Xbox One X and that shit was rushed. Yeah, of course it was rushed. If they didn't put the Xbox One X out when they did, the PlayStation Pro would have gotten a huge leap on the Xbox One X. And then and you see how all those Sony exclusives looks, God of War, Detroit Become Human, Shadow of the Colossus, The Uncharted, Lost Legacy. You see how amazing all those games look, and like it or not, and I'm not saying this as some fanboy shit, but like it or not, all those exclusives look better than anything that's over on the Xbox. GT Sport, MLB The Show, all those games look amazing. pick any one of those games, and any one of those games look better than what Microsoft has. Hell, you know, Horizon Zero Dawn, even though that game's over a year old, still looks better than anything that Microsoft has as a exclusive. So can you imagine if all those games would have kept getting pumped out, how many people would have started buying, you know, PlayStation Pros? But Microsoft made a move as soon as the PlayStation Pro was unveiled. You know, we didn't even know what the Xbox One X looked like, but they already jumped out the blocks saying that our console is going to be true 4K 60, uncompromised, all that shit. And we didn't even know what the console was, what the official name was. They haven't even given the console an official name yet. All we know at that time was that it was still Project Scorpio. And naturally, Phil Spencer came out and said that shit, I believe, to try to disrupt the sales of the PlayStation Pro, because he probably know that by saying that kind of stuff, that anybody who was thinking about getting a PlayStation Pro that was primarily an Xbox fan, once Phil Spencer said that, they were going to wait for the Xbox One X rather than buy the PlayStation Pro. And that's what that shit was all about. King Thrash, my man, would you like to jump in here? It's always intelligent to get an intelligent dude in here whose Nostradamus game is on point. You know, but like I always do, man, I got an open door policy. I'll send you the link. If you can come on in, I'd be happy to have you in here. So let's go to Twitter. And find one Mr. King Thrash. What the fuck? There he is, King Thrash Gaming. Send a direct message. Paste. Google Hangouts. Send to Rudy. Link sent. Okay, there you go. Thrash, I sent it, man. I'd be happy to have you in here. Chili Hog, and you know the fucked up part is Phil's part. They would have saved all the tech from the X and make it a full next gen console. That's what they should have done. You know what? One Stop for Gamers was right. He called this shit right from the start. He said the Xbox One X should have been a next generation console, but they was in such a hurry to get that shit out that they put that shit out there with basically the same processor from the Xbox One, just turned up a little bit. And it was like they knew it was going to run like shit. But even though the next Xbox is in development, which as far as that goes, I can't understand why people are upset about them announcing the new Xbox. You know, Phil Spencer said it himself that the process never stops. The research and development part never stops. Way back last October, before the Xbox One X even launched, he had already said that the next Xbox was in development. He said that, and the Xbox One X hadn't even came out yet. And when he made that statement, in my opinion, he already made the Xbox One X obsolete before the shit even hit the shelves. So, so I don't understand why some people are mad right now about it coming out of the bag, the new Xbox coming out of the bag. He brought it out of the bag last year. It sounds like a Mr. King Thrash just entered the building. Make sure you lock the door behind you, man, so don't no other motherfuckers get in here.
Facts.
Go ahead, shoot your intro, man, and give me some of your insight on what you think some of this race for 2019, as I like to call it.
Hey, yeah, all right, I get my intro. What's up, y'all? What's cracking with it, man? You know how it is, man. I can't spend too much time. I got a good 10 minutes, man. I'm over here still setting up this shit with my grandma shit.
Okay.
But yeah, man. What's up, y'all? How y'all niggas doing? You know what I'm saying? I just did some push-ups, some sit-ups, and somehow got bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like belly just got fatter status. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just accept it and let the girls just love all this jelly. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Nah, what's good, Chili? So good, Island. What's up, nigga? Where the fuck you been at, nigga? Oh, missing in action ass nigga.
What's up, Island?
But where we at on this shit, my nigga? What's the topic, real quick?
Well, somebody asked me what the race was for 2019, and I told them that I'm sticking to my guns, that I believe that the PlayStation 5 is going to come out in 2019. And I also was telling them that we know that Microsoft has this mentality that they believe that in order to win the generation, they need to get out of the blocks first. It has nothing to do with the quality of their content. They believe that they could put out absolute bullshit, but they believe that if they get out the blocks first, they will win the generation. With that being said, if the Xbox 2 is ready to go before the PlayStation 5, they will launch it before the PlayStation 5. With that being said, I think there's still a good possibility that the Xbox 2 could come in 2019, and Microsoft ain't gonna give two fucks about the people who just bought the Xbox One X.
I mean, they don't give a fuck about it right now. I mean, what did they showing off the capabilities of the Xbox One X? Like, I still haven't seen that tech demo game that's showing off the power of the Xbox One X. I mean, did they even mention the Xbox One X? I mean, they just said on Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, they said every game is going to look better, but they still haven't brought out or even showed a game utilizing these 6 teraflops. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think like it was a fluke from the beginning. Like you said earlier, you know what I'm saying? Microsoft wanted to give Xbox guys a reason not to get a PS4 Pro. You know what I'm saying? So they timed this shit right. They timed everything they were saying right, even though it was all bullshit. And by the time it comes around, half the Xbox niggas had already forgot because they're too busy trying to justify every damn thing else Microsoft does or try to talk about crossplay and shit like that. Like, it's just insane the tactics Microsoft is using to try to get their way.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, these motherfuckers, basically, man, Microsoft is a bunch of politicians. I mean, the buzzwords, the way they spin shit, the methods they use to try to use the media in their favor to try to vilify Sony, it's incredible. And so the other topic that I wanted to talk about while you're here real quick is crossplay. You know, Sony's the villain again because I guess people who created, Fortnite accounts through the PlayStation, tried to take their shit over to the Nintendo Switch and they couldn't do it.
Because see, that's the thing. Like, I mean, can you do that with the Xbox? Can you take your saves over from the Xbox to the Switch?
No, and that's the whole thing about it. You know, Sick Humor covered that earlier. He made an excellent point. And so I'll use the Rainbow game as a prime example. A lot of these Ubisoft games, you have to create a Ubisoft account.
You play. Yeah, you play
have
shit.
To create a Uplay account. But you go off and create a Uplay account and you play Rainbow Six from the PlayStation, from the Xbox. If you jump over from the Xbox to the PlayStation, your progress doesn't go with you.
No, it doesn't.
Even if your Uplay account, even if you can access it from a different console, the progress that you made on the Xbox is not going to follow you over to the PlayStation. You still going to have to start over from scratch over there. And that's what Sick was trying to tell people. What game, what console, what platform do you know lets you take your progress from one console to another? They don't. So like he said, I don't understand what the uproar is about. Just create another damn account and just play.
Yeah, I'm saying. I mean, it's like it's villainizing PlayStation because PlayStation bringing games and Microsoft not really bringing much, and people want to drag attention from that. And only Microsoft is going to really benefit from crossplay right now because they're, like I said before, they want to be third party and they want to get Xbox Live through third party, just like Minecraft. Minecraft through between the Switch and the Xbox, you have to have an Xbox Live account to do so. If you want to cross play with Xbox, same thing with cell phones. If you want a cell phone, you want to cross play with Xbox on Minecraft, you have to have an Xbox Live account. Some things that these motherfuckers just really don't talk about. They want you to do that shit because they want to have their games on as many systems as they possibly can. And they want to crossplay because they want you to get Xbox Live. Problem with that shit is that it's like mixing Pepsi and Coke. That's like me going to work with a Gatorade in my hand. If my boss sees me with a Gatorade in my hand, that's anti-business. That's anti-our business. How do I look like selling Coke, but I'm drinking Gatorade? You know what I'm saying? I'm drinking a Pepsi, but I got a Coke. Oh, God,
yeah. Absolutely. And then to add some other things to that, I think that's some real fuckery on Microsoft's part to hold people hostage and force them to have to get an Xbox Live account in order to cross-play with other people. And then the other part that I don't understand is the community getting upset about this shit. You know, and a lot of them, you know, especially the Xbox, that's hollering about this shit. You know, they playing Fortnite on the Xbox. So what the fuck do you care about what's going on over on the PlayStation end? Not only that,
right.
not only that, if they are a toxic Xbox, the Sony ponies are the sworn enemy. So why do you want to play with them? Why are you so worried about playing against somebody that you hate? Why? Because y'all getting your ass whooped so bad that you need something to brag about. And it's like I said before,
something to vilify.
Yeah. Oh. So, you know, so even if they did allow crossplay, I swear to God, you know, the Sony ponies could win 9 out of 10 matches, but that one match that the Xbox will win, they will act like they won the fucking Super Bowl. You know, and that's what the fuck they want.
Yeah, and it's sad because it's anti-business. I mean, Sony wouldn't do it. It's like Microsoft didn't do it. I keep bringing that shit up to niggas. I'm like, you want to know why Final Fantasy 14 is not on the Xbox? It's because Xbox didn't want to do crossplay. See, when they were both even, that was a launch game, basically. It was a launch game. And Sony was willing to do crossplay with them when it was even 0-0. Microsoft was like, no, because they felt like they were like gangster back then. They still had that momentum. They still had that confidence, feeling like that they were going to be leading in this game, in the industry. And now all of a sudden, when they're getting their asses whooped, they want to do it because it only benefits them. Like crossplay only benefits the loser. That's why Switch will gladly go and do it with Xbox, because Xbox has a larger user base. So it's like opening the door for people to go buy a Switch. But then Microsoft is like, okay, well, you're going to have to get Xbox Live, so we both get help there. Sony go and turn around and do it. Not only do they expose their larger group to a smaller group, but it's only benefiting Microsoft and not Sony. Sony already has their people. They have the biggest servers. Their servers have the most people on them. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, it's not about shackling the gamer or nothing like that, like these niggas trying to say, or, oh, this is anti-gamer. No, it's not anti-gamer. It's anti-business. Why do we need to help $1 billion company? You know what I'm saying? Like, since when they didn't want to do it last generation when they had the lead. They didn't want to do it this generation at the beginning, but now they want to do it when they actually need it. So why I wouldn't help them either. I mean, I was like, no, fuck no, I'm not helping you. Y'all didn't want to do shit. We tried to be pro gamer and do it while we were even, and it would have been all good if you would have said yeah back then. But now you're saying now that you're losing. Now it's no, because it's like you were doing some asshole shit. Now you need me? No,
exactly. And not only that, you know, let me throw the conspiracy theories in here where people gonna think that I'm smoking crack. Over the, you know, a couple of times during the PS3 generation, when the PlayStation Network got hacked, I think Microsoft was behind a couple of those. I think they might have. I think they might have paid some hackers to hack them. You know, because as soon as the first time the PlayStation Network went down, Microsoft was the first people to jump up and talk about how secure Xbox Live is. You know, so that right there already made them look suspicious. So at the start of this generation, when Lizard Squad had threatened to take down both the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live, the first thing that hit my head was that Microsoft was probably behind this one too, but they probably told Lizard Squad to take down Xbox Live as well, so it doesn't look suspicious on their part. So you know, and then you had the situation where that FIFA tournament was being played on the PlayStations and the fucking network went down. So they obviously got sabotaged. So they had to quick switch the shit around and finish the tournament from Xboxes through Xbox Live. So now when they do the shit this year, the FIFA tournament is going to be done on the Xboxes now, even though they getting their goddamn head whoops. So again, you know, I believe that was sabotage, and I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft had something to do with that. With that being said, you know, if I'm Sony, you expect me to believe that Microsoft wants crossplay to join the two communities for the betterment of gaming. I've said that before. Why the fuck should I help the competition? Why should I help them beat me? Why should I help them, you know, and kill potential sales on my end? And not only that, why would I give, you know, the enemy and my biggest competitor backdoor into my network? That's absolutely crazy. You know, they got to sell their console and they got to protect themselves at the same time.
I'm saying, like I said, I just can't. uh, I'm so tired of not understanding why people not understand it. You know what I'm saying? It's too. It's like there's so much going on with Microsoft every time. No matter what, when it's good, it's bad. When it's bad, it's good. But it always comes out to be some bad shit. It's because they just want to make money, and it's like you still see people say dumb shit just to continue a console war or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just tired of like why the fuck like be a gamer again? They get like understand that you have power if you allow yourself to have power. If you sit there and agree with everything Microsoft do just so you won't look stupid, then you're letting them do whatever they want to do and they know this shit. It's like, man, okay, like you just can't you just not supposed to continue. This shit isn't
No.
supposed to continue, man. And it's still doing it. It's
And
just insane.
I definitely wanted to talk about something else real quick, and I know you're going to want to have some input on this.
Mhm.
And that is about the possible rumor about PlayStation Now being downloadable, just like Game Pass.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
That would be huge, and I think that would put a huge dent in Game Pass. Because currently, like I was on the PlayStation at the PlayStation Store, and
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation Now, if you have PlayStation Plus, you can get PlayStation Now for 3 months for $30, the same $10 a month
Mm-hmm.
that you are paying for Game Pass. But here's the difference:
Mm-hmm.
you have access to over 650 games on PlayStation Now versus the 100 games that you have access to over on Game Pass. Now, I looked up the dates, and Game Pass started
Yeah.
Game Pass started last year, about this time
Mm-hmm.
last year. OBJ the Don, what is going on? I want to thank you for coming on the Lincoln Show, man. That was an incredible podcast, man. Thank you so much for coming on board. Now, getting back to this Game Pass thing. One thing I noticed with Game Pass, I looked up the dates, and Game Pass started about this time 1 year ago. So if they're adding about 30 games a month, don't you think they would have been at about 250 games right now?
Well, yeah, they should be, but they're not going to. They're going to take away as much as they give. Like
Right.
it's always
So
that they want to have that shit.
so
They want to
100 is
have it like that.
always going to remain the target number.
Right. It's
So
always going to be under
if they
200.
add 30
Is what I
games, they're going
is
to
what I
take
see.
away 30 games. And I
Yeah,
noticed that.
basically.
So here it is a whole damn year later, and they still bragging that, Game Pass has over 100 games, with the majority of them being, 360 games. Now, with
Right.
PlayStation Now, especially now that they're going to make it downloadable, you'll have access to PS3, PS4, and even some PS2 games. Over 650 games for the same $10 a month. And now you be able to download them just like you can on Game Pass. What is the bigger value, 100 games or 650 games for $10? And they got a shitload of
Now,
third-party games over there on PS Now, just like Game Pass does.
but I will say this. This is what I will say. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that though. It's because that cell processor, man. Most of these games is made by cell processor, so it's like, I mean, all the games were made by cell processor to where they would have to be like recoded to actually make that shit work. Without it being, the only reason why they're using the cloud is to stream that shit because there's no other way to fucking do it unless they change the whole inside of a PS4 or have to do one game at a time. Now, one thing I figured that they're gonna do, at least with that downloadable shit that they had, it might just be a queue for a download. Like you might be able, they either might have it to where you can download partial of the game and then that way. I mean, when you have Games Pass, they already do that shit. You already kind of low key. You choose a game, it's automatically in your shit. Like it's automatically in your UI to where you can just press the game and it'll automatically go to it. But it's like if it's downloadable, then that means they got to be doing this shit one at a time. And if they do that, that's fine. That'd be great. But they would have to get a whole lot of licensing for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. When I seen this shit, I'm like, okay, I know how it is, but I know why they can't just do backwards compatible like that because of that sales processor. So it's like, will it be? It might just be a certain sum of games. It might just be just first party games that they're gonna let you be downloadable. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise they're gonna be having to pay people Just like Microsoft has to pay people to change the licensing and all that shit to get their shit downloadable.
Well, even if they did that, it would still be huge, being that Sony has a shit ton more of exclusives than Microsoft does.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, hell, they probably was already, this shit was probably in the making years ago. You know what I'm saying? It was probably already in the making. They're just getting their licenses and starting to do the shit anyway. So it might have been already a thing anyways. You know what I'm saying? They just now bring it out because now they have most of it already ready to go. But I mean, that was the whole thing about renting it and all that. This whole shit was supposed to be a rental thing. You know what I'm saying? The PS Now. Then they turned it into a service like Netflix, where it's not really a rental. You got a whole set of games that's there. There's more than 500 games on PS Now. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see PS Now, they have the games that's only for PS Now, but they have games that you can rent, and they'll be like 2 days, 5 days, 1 year. You know what I'm saying? To where you can rent in time. Those are ones you pay those individual for that thing. That's how they pay for. That's how royalties go to these companies and who own the game. But if they make it to where you can just up and download a game, it's either gonna cost more, or they're gonna have to get licenses, and it's gonna have to be one at a time. It's just like it's too much. It's way too much to download something onto your shit. Is going to be a whole lot of shit to legally do it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a whole lot of shit they got to go through, a whole lot of shit to hop through, simply because of the cell processor. If it was natively backwards compatible, you won't need to change anything. But since it's not natively backwards compatible, shit got to get changed. So that's where the problem persists in that shit. Okay, so it might be true, it might not be true, but I'm just being real.
You know, and I'd like to think that the ball is in motion, because I can't remember whose YouTube video I saw it on, but they showed a page where there was a download link, or a download button.
Yeah, I seen it. It was while they were in the PS3 UI and everything. I seen it, and yeah, it's there. It's there.
The other thing that I'd like to think about that, and having to deal with the publishers on a one-on-one basis. To change these codes and whatever you're talking about, I would like to think that the older the game is, the easier it's going to be to work out a deal with the publisher, because, even if it's only a couple of bucks, it still gives them a chance to make some more money on it. You know what I mean? Because a game like, maybe a game like, I'll use Red Dead Redemption for an example. Without PlayStation Now or Game Pass, that game would probably be dead. So it'd probably be a little bit easier to work with Rockstar on a game like that.
Yeah,
so it ain't gonna be as easy to work with them on Grand Theft Auto, because that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen no time soon.
I mean, I think they're gonna want to do backwards compatible the way they've been, like Microsoft been doing it, to where it's not truly backwards compatible. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally not backwards compatible, but they just call it that because you can play it, and it makes sense to call it that shit. But it's not truly backwards compatible. The Xbox isn't. The games are, because they've made them like that. But it's just like backwards compatible will be the Wii or the Wii U, where you put a game in, it works automatically. That means you don't got to change no licensing, no nothing. You don't have to touch anything. You put it in and it works. That's backwards compatible. But it's less money in that, because now you just put it in and it works. But if Microsoft want to make money off of this shit, they'll make you have to put it in, and then you have to download it. And then if you don't have the game, you can automatically just buy it. To where backwards compatible, you can't just buy it. You know what I'm saying? You got to just put that shit in there. You got to buy it from the store. So more people are making more money, because Microsoft is charging an arm and a leg for these backwards compatible games. These games will be $8, $7, $4 somewhere else, what it used to be. But even GameStop is even taking advantage of it and making it high price. But these games would be way cheaper if Microsoft didn't do it that way. If it was pure backwards compatibility, these games would be $8, $4, shit, $2 instead of $39, $29, $19. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a way for them to make money, but it's also a way, make gamers not see the truth behind why they doing backwards compatible the way they doing it. You know what I'm saying? The Xbox 360 didn't have a cell processor in it. Why ain't they doing it natively? You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a money thing, man. They giving you the illusion that you getting something backwards compatible when you're not. And Sony don't have to do it that way too, but it's mainly because of the cell processor. I mean, they did backwards compatible with every console except the PS4. So they know what they're doing with it.
I'm not gonna act like I'm an expert on the cell processor shit, because I'm not. But I will say that I think that if Sony thinks there's enough money into this kind of stuff, they're going to find a way to make it work.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, that's why PS Now made sense. I can't stand the fact that I see Xbox guys like, yeah, it's about to be streamed. It won't do bad. Xbox go stream. I'm like, my nigga, Xbox is behind. They behind the curve on everything, on backwards compatible and streaming games. Sony been streaming games for 2-3 years. We've been streaming PS3 games to a Vita, to a Samsung TV, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Microsoft is trying to say, oh, well, we got the better infrastructure and our internet is better. No, nigga, none of that shit is going to matter. What matters is how good your internet in your home is. That's what matters. Like, I have PS Now and I never had a problem with it. I probably hear some music sounding funny sometimes, but I don't have like latency problems with my PS Now when I had it. You know what I'm saying? I never had that kind of problem, but some people will simply due to the fact that their internet ain't as good as mine. And the same thing that happened on Xbox and shit. You can't have 10 megabits a second and expect you to have a smooth motherfucking time streaming a fucking game from anywhere. So it's just, especially they talking about doing 4K streaming. Like, come on, bro. It's not gonna happen, bro. It's just not. It's not like it's watching a movie. You watch a movie, you don't feel latency, you don't feel lag. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel like you press a button, then 2 seconds later the action happens. No, you just watch it. So it's just coming to you at whatever rate it's coming to you. But if you press X, when you want to press X, and it does the X movement 2 seconds later, then it ruins the game entirely. And that's what 4K is going to do to that shit. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't matter at the end of the day, man. So I'm gonna just let these niggas fall for the okie doke and let them go ahead and enjoy that shit. I don't know why they want to brag about it when they hated the PS Now so much.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give everybody a perfect example of this narrative that really gets on my nerves, because it seems like, you know, if Microsoft, whatever Microsoft does, they act like, you know, it's going to lead the way of the future. And if everybody else don't do what Microsoft doing, they're going to fall behind and they're going to lose the next generation. You know, the way I see it, you know, a company that sold 34 million consoles, you know, has no place to try to tell a company who sold 80 million consoles what to do. And here's a prime example. I bowled on a league for about 15 years, and I carried a 200 average on that game, on that league. That means when I have a bad game, I can still expect to shoot at least a 190, even when I'm having a bad day. But when I'm on fire, get your ass out of my way, because I'm shooting about a 250, 260 when I'm having a good day. Now, I'll be goddamn if I got a 200 average and a dude with a 135 average come up to me and try to tell me how to bowl. I'll be goddamn. And here you got the same situation. If I'm Sony and I sold 80 million consoles, I'll be goddamn if a console who sold 32 million consoles try to tell me how to run my business.
Oh shit, what happened?
So you know, they need to get off this fucking narrative. You know, the media need to stop sucking Microsoft's balls and act like they lead the way of the future, you know, that they're going to do something that's like, you know, groundbreaking.
Man, Microsoft hasn't done anything groundbreaking for Windows and no other shit. They copied Windows, they copied Google, they copied iPads, iPhone.
Whoops. We lost him for a second. He must have bought it. Well, he'll kick back in any second now. There you go. You bought it out for a second, Thrash, so you're going to have to back up a little bit. Oh, there you go.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Give me like 2 minutes.
Okay.
I know I'm away from my Wi-Fi and shit, so it'll probably be fucked up.
Okay. So, yeah, I was telling people, you know, same thing in the gym. Oh, my God, the gym. I've watched dudes, even myself included. I've been in the gym. I benched 275, 295. I benched 305. And then to have a dude 120 pounds try to come up on me and try to tell me how to lift. If you don't get your little motherfucking ass up out of my face, you know, I'll use your ass for a motherfucking clamp. You know, I'll wrap your ass around that goddamn bar and use your ass to hold the weights in place so they don't come off. Get your ass out of here. That's what the narrative is supposed to be about Microsoft versus Sony. So the media need to stop dick riding Microsoft. You know, they getting their ass whooped in this patriotic, you know, media is doing everything they can to make them the winner. You know, and then to go back to what, you know, Sick was saying that, you know, during the 360 generation, and Thrash said it too. You know, when Microsoft thought they was winning, they didn't want any parts of that shit. Okay, you won the previous generation. But now that I'm big and I'm strong and I'm bitching 300 pounds, stay the fuck out of my face. Don't get up in my face trying to tell me how to lift. You know, now you want to work together. You know, we become workout buddies. Get the fuck out of here. Now you want crossplay. You want us to be workout buddies. Now you want to spot me when I bench, you know, when I bench 225, and that's a fucking warm up for me. Now you want to be partners. Get the fuck out of here. So you still with me, Thrash? He must be out of range. You know, but I didn't want to be on for a terribly long time. I know Thrash was going to get ready to take off pretty soon too. So I'll be able to wrap. I'm going to be able to wrap this up pretty soon myself because I want a game tonight. It's Saturday night. I'm well rested. I want a game tonight, and I want to stream some of my games so I can interact with the chat. You know, so when this is over, at the conclusion of this, I think I'm going to play a game of MLB The Show and stream it live. So whoever wants to join me there, I would appreciate it. And then I think I might do both because I'm trying to stay up all night. I'm going to try to make an all-nighter out of this shit. So I'm going to try to stream some GT Sport. And I don't know, lately I kind of been wanting to I either want to stream Bravo Team or I want to stream what was the other shit I was gonna say? Or The Last of Us multiplayer. So, like I said, I'm gonna try to stay up late and try to stream a lot of shit, you know. But if it all don't happen, you know, just know that, you know, I am 51 years old. There's only so much I can do, you know. Sooner, you know, a man once told me that when your body's ready to shut down, there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm gonna plan on playing as much as I can until I finally conk out. And then I think tomorrow, I would like to think that still Sick Humor is still going to do the weekly PlayStation Plus podcast that we do every Sunday morning. So if that's the case, definitely keep your eyes open for that. I don't know. Don't call me Danny. Let's play some multiplayer in The Last of Us. Hey, that's a possibility. I'm not sure what time I'm going to do it, but I definitely want to do it. But be warned, don't call me Danny. It has been a long time since I played that game, so I know I'm going to have to knock the rust off. The only thing that's going to work in my favor is that that I have the crossbow, and when you shoot somebody with the crossbow, they bleed out unless they use a med kit to stop the bleeding. If they don't stop the bleeding, they'll drop to the ground, which you can execute them. So, so be warned. It's you know, be warned. I haven't played that in a while, so I would need to get the rust off. But like I said, it's Saturday night. I feel well rested. I feel great. So I definitely want to do some streaming. I definitely want to interact with you, the chat. Thrash already took off, so I think I can get ready to wrap this up myself. Don't call me Danny. You never played the multiplayer on The Last of Us? Oh my goodness. Well, you still gonna need to be handy with the steel, though.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, okay. I'll be ready to put a bow on this shortly, anyway, because you said you couldn't stick around long anyway. So I'll be ready to put a bow on this pretty soon, anyway.
For sure.
So, what else you want to kick it with before we wrap this up?
What else was it these fools was talking about, man? I read something. What was it? I read some bullshit. People talking about the streaming shit. They said one thing I read. They said that the streaming will get Xbox take the lead back. I'm like,
what?
Yes. I'm like, why?
Wasn't there a stat out there that 2/3 of the world don't have internet?
Yeah, it's more than 2/3. Shit, half the planet doesn't have internet, and even more than that, doesn't have a stable enough internet to even game. You know what I'm saying? And that's including cell phones. So it's like that's why I keep telling people, man. Like, if you think Sony's gonna go that route, there's many reasons why Sony would never do it. They have too big of a user base. They are worldwide, where Microsoft is just US and Europe. That's their biggest markets. You know what I'm saying? Where Sony has a market everywhere. So they wouldn't do that because they ain't gonna leave out 2/3 of their gamers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just people need to be able to play natively, and
you want me to say hi to him?
Microsoft don't care about that.
Well, hold on a second, Thrash. You can go ahead and say it yourself. Just he can hear you. Go ahead.
Hi, Thrash.
Oh no, go ahead. What it do?
He said, "What it do?" Because it's Nostradamus game is on point.
Always firmly picked.
Oh yeah, my son loves some Thrash too.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. So go ahead and finish up your point, man, about the streaming. About we were talking about how a good portion of the planet has no or bad internet.
Yeah. I mean, even in the US, it's insane because, like, some people don't have unlimited, internet. They got to pay. Forgot what it's called, but basically, you got to pay for the amount of data you got, and if you go over that, they're gonna charge you more and more and more. Not to mention net neutrality. So it's like, it's just not gonna work. It's just that if anything is gonna kill gaming, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be consoles going full on data, full on streaming, because not only does that take control from us, from actual ownership of our games, it actually puts us at the mercy of motherfuckers like that with the net neutrality and these cable companies. It's putting us at the mercy of them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is gonna be bad. It'll be bad all around. It's more problems to it than not, and that's why I'm like, why are these gamers sitting here praising this shit? You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why PS Now didn't get big. Most PlayStation niggas is like, nigga, I want to own my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? I don't. I mean, if everybody got on PS Now, it'd be on Sony's ass on what games they put out and what games they keep. You know what I'm saying? And how much they're gonna charge. Like, it just, you're giving too much control to a company. You know what I'm saying? And they're choosing the games you play. It's like just all around dumb. it's all around dumb. So, and not to mention, like, people are forgetting that it's third-party companies trying to get into this shit. So it's gonna be multiple services depending on which brand you want. You want an Ubisoft game, you're gonna have to do the Ubisoft service. You want an EA game, you're gonna do EA service. You're gonna have to do different services for different people. And that's what's gonna make it. It's just gonna break up. It's just gonna cost too much money. Period. It's gonna be like cable. It's gonna be like cable. You want HBO, pay more. You want Cinemax, pay more. That's exactly what that's gonna be. Things that are normally free, you know what I'm saying, they want to be able to charge more for. I mean, Konami tried to fucking charge you for saves, my nigga, for actual save, to save your game. You save once, you gotta pay for another. That's just insane.
That was absolutely crazy. And myself, I do not plan to move forward with technology. I normally move forward with technology in terms of the new consoles coming out, but what this shit with Microsoft plans on doing, I'm not moving forward with it. If Sony pulls that same shit, and I did get forced to have to get on board with it, I'm going on board with Sony because they're going to have the more compelling games. And it's just like you said, when you look at it from a cable package standpoint, if I have to do this shit, I'm only paying for basic cable, which right now would be Sony. I won't pay for Ubisoft service because Rainbow Six is the only game that interests me. I wouldn't pay for EA service because, if I did, I probably wouldn't, because Battlefield's the only game that interests me in their catalog, and nothing interests me in the Microsoft side. So I won't be, buying shit over there. The console, the Game Pass, none of that shit. So if everybody moves in that direction, you can definitely scratch Microsoft off the list of people that I would subscribe to.
Yeah, you might as well scratch me off the list of even gaming. I'd be damned if I'm paying for internet and then the actual games that I'm not choosing. I can't do it. I mean, think about it. It would be just like HBO. Like a new movie will come out, but then they don't got the other new movie because it's on the other servers or on the other, it's on Cinemax. So Cinemax got a contract with that or whatever. So it's like you're stuck with a certain set of games, and then that shit comes and goes when it pleases. It's whenever it comes and whenever they feel like bringing it out there. And then it's like the same thing with like I said with EA and all them shits. Like in order to enjoy one console worth of games, you're gonna have to pay 2-3 services. You know what I'm saying? That's the future of what they want to do. All these companies are gonna want their hands in it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to make a small percentage. So all these companies are gonna take their best games or take their games and try to put them out there as a platform like EA is doing. And that's just going to cost gamers too much. It's going to cost gamers too much to do the same thing they're doing and been doing for years with one purchase.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Now we're purchasing from several companies instead of just one console, and all games work on that one console. We're going to have to pay companies of certain games to get their games streaming on our shit. It just doesn't. I'm good on all that. Count me out of all that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not getting on board with that shit. You know, if they force my hand, then fuck it. I'll go back outside and play with a stick with a stick and a rock and go back to the caveman days. So fuck that shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, facts. I can't entertain that type of shit. I can't entertain it, and it's sad to see Microsoft going that way. And like I said in the podcast last time, Microsoft going third party anyway. Nigga, they got 2 of their games already coming to PlayStation and shit, my nigga. Well, at least one of them confirmed to come to PlayStation, and another one, the developer said that it's gonna be on all platforms. So, I mean, I'm gonna do a video about it, man, showing all the information and showing what they were talking about, and we'll see. I'll show y'all niggas what I'm talking about there. But yeah, it's like I said before, like my Nostradamus game said before. These niggas going third party. They want to go third party because they want to be like EA and be able to do this streaming shit on every console possible. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what it is. We'll see what it is.
Exactly. You know, and I think to touch on something that you said before we wrap this up, you said something that made a whole lot of sense when Microsoft announced the acquisition of all those studios, and those are all third-party studios. And I remember you saying that Microsoft is going to continue to let those studios be third-party studios because that's the direction that they're moving in, and they want to get all their games across all platforms. And so to acquire all those studios and make them first-party only studios, would kill a lot of sales.
Yeah.
So, and I think you're exactly right. I think that Microsoft will keep those studios third-party. But I think they still going to pull the wool over everybody's eyes and make them think that these studios are going to be third party, a first party. And even if they did go that route, and even if they did keep these studios first party, I think they brought them on board for them to make basically low budget games for Game Pass, more bullshit like State of Decay.
I mean, this is what they want longevity. They want games that last longer for a reason. Gamers over here thinking they want it to last longer to benefit them. That's why when I asked them niggas, are you still playing Sea of Thieves? Are you still playing PUBG? Are you even still playing fucking State of Decay? Like, are you still playing these games? I mean, if that was the case, and you'd still be playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, you know what I'm saying? You'd still be playing, like, if all that shit mattered, you would still be playing it. Gamers at the end of the day get tired of playing the same old shit over and over and over again, no matter how much DLC you want to put on it. You gotta renew your shit. But Microsoft and EA want to make their games last longer because they want people to be playing month for month to play the same exact games. After 6 months, they already made a profit already. More than 6 months. Any digital game should be like $40, bro, because they don't gotta make CDs and ship them and do all that shit. They ain't gotta pay for all that. They do, like, digitals should be way cheaper. We already getting fucked over with digital games. Period. You own a digital game, you overpaid for a game. Because if they cost the same price as a physical game, you gotta think about it. Even the stores that hold these games gotta make a profit, so they buy it for cheaper. Period. Like, even the fucking stores, they buy it for cheaper, and then on top of that, it costs less money to ship. Like, you gotta ship these games, you gotta get them replicated, you gotta get them boxed, you gotta pay for all of this shit. You gotta pay for the font, the covers and shit. You don't get all that shit when you get a digital game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all that money that they save does not go to us; it goes straight to them. So that's really why they want to go full digital too. All these companies, like all these developers, even Sony, they like the whole digital shit because they make way more money. They save way more money doing it digitally. Way more money. There's no such thing as an outage. There's no such thing as running out of product when you got it digital. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be a copy there for somebody. They cut out a whole lot of loss with physical with digital. Problem with that shit is now they want to control digital more than anything. They want to control it to where they tell us what games they're gonna have us play, or they're gonna make these games like empty, and then they'll say, "Oh, we're gonna patch it in later," and they'll patch it in later and give you like half of a level that should have been there day one. It's just so many different things, man, that these companies are trying to make money. People say, "Oh, it should cost more than $60." No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't cost more than $60, man. I mean, if you sell 1 million copies, you made $64 million to split amongst whatever you're gonna split amongst up. You know what I'm saying? I keep telling people games like The Last of Us made more money than Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 for Sony, because Sony only gets paid 30% of what from the earnings of Call of Duty. Where The Last of Us, they get 100%. The Last of Us sold what, 16 million now, they said?
17.
Something like that. 17 million. So 17 million times 69 is some crazy ass fucking number. But then you got but let's say 20 million from Call of Duty. Even if let's say 100 million from Call of Duty, you still make more with The Last of Us because you only getting 30% of the profits from Call of Duty because it's a third party studio gets 70%. You know what I'm saying? So it's like your first party shit make, all this shit, man. I'm telling you, people just ignore the truth behind all of the shit that's going on with shit, man. People are like, oh, how come Sony games are so cheap? Like if you go on, you see God of War, I think they already lowered the price to $49. It's like all this shit is like Gran Turismo. You can buy for $19 right now, and the original price now is $49. They lower the price like that because they can. They're saving money that way, and they making more money by making it cheaper and people buying it. You know what I'm saying? It's a big ass process that a lot of people ignore with the whole business and gaming. They just think we put a game out there and then you buy it and that's it. No, it's analytics to everything. So it's just, I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Like I said, man, it's crazy to still see these niggas doing this shit. Mm-hmm. What's up, Sick OBJ? Nigga?
OBJ, what's up? Sick Humor, what's going on? I said, what's up to you? Lightbringer, what's going on? We gonna get that win tonight, man, on that baseball. So we've been on about a good hour, man. About ready to go ahead and wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
So I definitely enjoyed you coming on, man. Like I said,
I had a little time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you definitely kicked some ballistics. Drop some knowledge on these cats.
Hey, man, got to, man.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and get an outro.
All right, what's up, y'all niggas? Y'all know what it is. King Thrash Gaming, nigga. Like, subscribe, don't subscribe. You know what it is, nigga. What is it? I got some content coming up. You know what I'm saying? I've been working hard on trying to get some of the funniest skits out there, get these E3 interviews and see what I could do with them. So I got some of that shit coming up. I got the breakdown for these E3s as well. You know what I'm saying? Don't think Sony is safe from being clowned with them. No, nigga, them niggas is safeless. Nigga, another new word for another new gay. Nigga, safeless. Nigga, these niggas is safeless around here. Nigga, I'm getting everybody. My nigga, Nintendo. Oh my god. but just give me some time. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with my family shit right now, so I have my shit out though. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just busy with this family shit right now.
Oh yeah, my condolences on that situation. Sure. Believe me, I know exactly how you feel.
Oh yeah, I know you just went through it. Shit, hell yeah,
Man, don't a day go by that I don't think about my grandmother. I had a close relationship with her. But I also want to remind the chat that a lot of you are already subscribed to the Roundtable Podcast. I want to encourage everybody in this chat to share that channel. To share that channel with your friends, whatnot, because when we get to 200 subscribers on the Roundtable Podcast, we are going to do a huge giveaway. We're still working out, what we're going to do about that, but it looks like we're leaning towards giving away $200 to the grand prize winner and maybe a game or something like that for the second prize winner. And we're still talking about possibly letting the winner come on to the podcast with us. We're still working out all those details, but it's definitely going to be a huge giveaway when we hit 200 subscribers. So definitely keep your eyes on that. And but don't think we just gonna hand it over. It's gonna be some kind of riddle or something that you're gonna have to answer. So.
Oh yeah, ain't shit free, niggas. The fuck, nigga, ain't shit free. Ain't shit free.
Exactly. Also, want to remind everybody now that it's been brought to my attention that Destiny 2 is on sale for $10 at Best Buy. I'm going to plan on going to Best Buy and pick up both a copy for the PlayStation and the Xbox One, and I will save them for when I get to 300 subscribers, and I will give those away when I get to 300 subscribers. So keep
that presentation exclusive.
Exactly. So same thing there, like, share my channel, and let's get to 300 so we can get that to that next giveaway. So with that being said, I want to thank Thrash once again for coming on board. The man has a tremendous amount of intelligence, and I never get tired of listening to his insight. His opinions on the industry.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
It's always interesting. And so with that being said, I want to all y'all have a good night. And for those who want to join me over on the Baseball Diamond, I'll be headed over that way in a few minutes to stream a game of MLB The Show. And Lightbringer, I wanted in the last game. I won a game that, for all intents and purposes, I probably should have lost. I scored 3 runs in like the 8th inning, and then I was able to bring my closer in to slam the door. So it was a big win. I played against one of my subs. I believe his name is Hardcore Henry, and he was giving me a rough time. He had me off balance the whole fucking game, but I was able to pull off the win. And we'll see if we can get 2 in a row. I've won 3 out of my last 4, so we'll try to see if we can get us another win here in a few minutes. So y'all get ready to join me over on the Baseball Diamond. Again, for my guest, King Thrash, this is your boy, Lincoln Clay. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Y'all have a good night, and we are out.